All right, assignment for Keystone Algebra Period 1 classes for Wednesday, November 18th, 2020 is lesson 7, titled Factoring Polynomials. What we'll be doing is factoring algebraic expressions, including the difference in squares and trinomials. Note, trinomials are limited to the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is equal to 1 after factoring out all monomial factors. Let's talk about trinomials and monomials. Monomial is a one-term expression like c, okay, or 2x. A trinomial is a three-term expression like 2x squared plus 4x plus 7. Binomial, we just defined coefficient is the number in front of a variable. A factor is also a divider. A factor of a monomial is a divider of a monomial. A factor of a polynomial is a divider of a polynomial. A constant number has no variable with it. It can be a whole number, it can be a decimal, it can be a fraction. It can be positive, negative, or zero. A monomial is a one-term expression. It may contain a number and a variable, and an exponent with a variable. A polynomial is any expression that contains at least one term. So a monomial, a binomial, and a trinomial are all examples of polynomials. Simplest form means reduced form. You can't factor or divide it anymore. A trinomial is a three-term polynomial. Terms are separated by subtraction and addition signs. Factoring polynomials is the process of breaking a larger polynomial into the product of two or more monomials or polynomials. There are different ways to factor, means divide, a polynomial. However, following the steps below can minimize the process. Steps to factor a polynomial. Step 1, compare each term in the polynomial to determine if a greatest common factor, greatest common divider, can be removed, factored, divided out from each term. If possible, factor out the value and or variables. See example 1. If the polynomial has two terms and both terms are perfect squares separated by a minus sign, find the difference of the two squares. Example 2. We'll talk about example 2 in a bit. Step 3. If the polynomial is a trinomial, create a table to determine if you can find two values that multiply to equal the constant and add to the equal the coefficient of the x term. See examples 3 and 4. In example 1, it says to factor the polynomial has 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. 4x to the third, 6 plus 6x squared plus 12x plus 8. Now, not all four terms have an x term variable. So look at the coefficients 4, 6, 12, and 8. What is the largest number you can divide all four of those numbers by? And it's 2. So we take the given polynomial and you divide each term by 2. And then we put the quotient, basically, of each term inside the grouping signs. 4 divided by 2 is 2x to the third. 6x squared divided by 2 is 3x squared. 12x divided by 2 is 6x. And positive 8 divided by 2 is positive 4. In example 2, factor 4x squared minus 9. The first term, 4x squared. X squared is a perfect term. 4 is a perfect square. 9 is a perfect square, and it's the difference between two perfect squares. 2, factor a difference of two perfect squares, and here's how you do it. You take the square root of the first term, which is 2x. We take the square root of the second term, 9, which is 3. We write the 2x and a 3, 2x and a 3 inside grouping signs. We put an addition sign between the two terms and the one grouping sign. we put the subtraction sign between the two terms in the other grouping pair. To check, use the FOIL method, first times first. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. First times last. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. Inside terms, 3 times negative 2x is 2x, 6x. Last times last is negative 9, so there's the negative 9. What happened to the 6x square terms? When you have a positive 6x and a negative 6x, so they subtract out. So we end up with what we started with, 4x squared minus 9. In example 3, we have a 1x squared plus 11x plus 24. Here we're going to factor this trinomial as a product of two binomials. 1 and 24. What are the factors of 24? Well, you have 1 and 24, 2 and 12, and 3 and 8, and 4 and 6. Since both of these signs are addition signs, we're looking at the positive factors only. Which of those pairs, 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6 add up to 11? Here, the middle term coefficient. Only 8 plus 3 is equal to 11, and 8 times 3 is 24. So, factoring the trinomial into the product of two binomials, we have x and x in our first terms, positive 3 and positive 8. Now, the order of 3 and 8 here doesn't really matter. Okay, you can add the 8 here and the 3 here. What happens when the first term coefficient is not a 1, like example 4? 2x squared minus 4x minus 16. Here we have subtraction. So our signs inside our grouping signs and the binomials are going to be a little bit different. First, we have a coefficient of 2, 4, and constant 16. They're all even numbers. So I can take this trinomial and first divide every term by 2. Factoring out a 2 means dividing out a 2. So 2x squared divided by 2 is 1x. Negative 4x divided by 2 is negative 2x. Negative 16 divided by negative 2 is negative 8. So now we're going to factor this trinomial like we did in example 3. What factors of 8, okay, have a difference of 2? So we have 1 and 8 and 2 and 4. The difference of 1 and 8 is 7. The difference of 2 and 4 is 2. So now we can find numbers that multiply to 8. That's what we just did. Okay, so we're going to have 2 times the quantity of x plus 2 times the quantity of x minus 4. Now, since this term, the middle term, is negative, all right, the bigger number between the 2 and the 4 has to be negative. The smaller number has to be positive. So the 2 goes in behind the plus sign, the 4 goes behind the subtraction sign. Okay. That's it for today's lesson. You're going to have, let me check my notes here. Okay, checking my notes, you're going to have multiples of 3. So starting at 3 through 21. And you'll have the lesson post-test problems 1 and 2 for your assignment. That's it.